Hey, there we go. Thank you,
Here we
everybody, for
are.
sticking with us.
Yes,
Gorgeous,
there it
beautiful
is.
faces
We never
have.
left. We were
Ah,
always here.
We were
so
here
pretty.
the whole time, and the best part is, in the future, if people are watching this on YouTube, they won't have seen what happened.
They'll never know.
Oh,
They'll
And we're not going
never
to say anything to clue them in.
know.
We're not going to say anything at all.
Speaking of which, if you haven't done so already, we do have the first 5 episodes up on YouTube. More to come soon. So go ahead and check that out, whether you're new here and just following in from the middle, or you want to see where all of this shenaniganery started. Go check on our YouTube, Three Kobolds Gaming. It's a good time.
And while you're clicking things in that general vicinity, there is a Twitter and an Instagram that you can access. I heard tell that there's a Facebook, but I actually can't confirm or deny that. But there's some exciting social media content that you can for sure observe.
Yeah, definitely check out our Instagram. Lots of really cool art from our very own character artist, Emily Grace,
There will be more coming
who's
soon.
currently,
Wow.
while visible, in the wrong square. So I'll fix that now.
Well, who am I right
Oh, it's-
now?
We take
Who am
one.
I?
We're all in the right square.
We take one thing at a time here. Let's see.
I was thinking I was a little.
Oh,
it's
Will's in the
new-
right
new
square.
orientation.
I'm always in the
Oh,
right
I'm
spot.
Bastro right now. I can play Bastro.
We are playing
am I?
musical characters, so everybody pass your character sheets one to the left.
Nice. Am I the
I'm really
GM?
excited for that one witch that we encounter, or the one hag at some point, where like she actually transfers us into each other's bodies, and we do have to do that though.
Boom.
Like
Yeah.
Bada bop.
that encounter
Bow.
should be a part of every single campaign. That's
Yeah,
in my
counting
law.
campaigns that do that are just the best campaigns.
Like
My God.
Man, well,
That encounter that I ran through. So
after a long journey, we finally made our way back into the proper boxes on your computer screen. The pixels, they've been carefully calculated, and they are now accurate,
It feels like home. It feels
Feels-
like I'm back home.
like home.
not Bastro anymore. This feels like in Scooby Doo 2 when like
when they all switched
Right,
to Bastro.
so-
Yep.
Oh my
Or you could pull a Spartacus and everybody could be Bastro. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining us again.
What's happening?
We are Three Kobolds Gaming, returning after our holiday hiatus and our technical difficulty valley to bring you live Pathfinder 2nd Edition content right to your faces. We will be continuing with our Heroes of Absalom campaign. And we're nearing episode 50, ladies and gentlemen. Almost.
Dang.
Almost.
Woo.
Technically over a year, but almost 1 year of weekly content.
Pretty cool.
If you don't count our weeks off, it's been over a year since we embarked in our little journey. It's been about what, a year and a third or so.
a year and a third or
roughly.
somewhere around there, yeah.
Roughly.
15 months.
So for those of you who have been watching since the beginning, thank you so much. This year marks a big year for us as we've hit officially 52 episodes of our main campaign. We also have a bunch of one-shots and side things which will be going up in the near future on the YouTube as well, for people to enjoy. Just quick one-shots, quick little excursions, adventures into other little side stories. But tonight is no side story. Tonight is the main event. What everyone waited for in the new year was not January 1st, but actually January 2nd, the return of Heroes of Absalom. We come
Oh,
back
boy.
to our characters in the midst of danger, as they tend to find themselves quite often. They are currently assaulting the hideouts of a band of thieves known as the Copper Hand. Up-and-coming thieves guild, which attempted to heist a bank, but our intrepid heroes stopped them. And in the process of doing so, met a roguish woman by the name of Kolo. Kolo, who was hired by the Copperhand to break into the vault, but has no true loyalty outside of her paycheck. She does mention, though, that you can find, she knew where to find the hideout, as well as the fact that there is somebody else who is being held here against their will. An inventor by the name of Gribbs, who is the one who is making these clockwork contraptions that they were using as part of their bank heist endeavors. They came to the location of the hideout, and after some healing, after some scouting, they were able to find a back alleyway that led to a slightly open window. A window that some would say wasn't a window, but ajar.
There it is.
They were able to pry said window open and get up to the second floor where the true hideout started, past the denizens of the first floor who were there as part of essentially a sleep by the hour kind of place where you just throw yourself across the line that they have these ropes strung across from wall to wall where you could just hang out and take a little nap if you needed to in between your shifts. A good, shall we say, good place to lay low if you're a Thieves Guild. They make it up to the second floor where they do come across some of the members of the Copper Hand, two of which attempted to escape and alert their friends, but didn't quite make it. Though the noise created by the ensuing fight did alert somebody. Someone in the next room, which they entered, and they realized that there were multiple people on this floor that they had to contend with, and one of them managed to ring a metal pipe in the corner of the room, which sent a clear bell tone throughout this floor and potentially others. We would go straight back into the combat we left on. We do have a little something before that.
Ooh.
Instead of the bright interior of the Copperhand hideout, we find ourselves in a cold stone room. We see pale scratches that mark the wall, faint enough to be wiped away, just barely visible to the eye. 5 sets of tallies, and a 6th awaiting its final mark. 30 days in this cell for abetting criminal activity, as well as a modest reward for bringing forth the case and evidence of those same crimes. As the sun sets beneath the bars of the window, Twinkletoes crosses off the last 4 lines and breathes a heavy sigh. Closing her eyes, she says,
"One more night, and this will be all over."
"On your feet, Twinkletoes." The harsh voice jerked the halfling awake. It was still dark, but the guards stood at her cell door, torch held aloft by one as the other flips through a key ring.
What's going on?
"Time for you to go," the one holding the torch says. "Call it good behavior." The hinges scraped as the door swings open before her.
Good behavior. Releasing me 8 hours early for good behavior.
The one with the torch let her past the other cells. The second guard, close behind. She keeps her eyes on the feet of the man in front of her, the hair on the back of her neck prickling.
Relax.
She thought to
You'll be
herself.
You'll be free again in just a few moments. You'll get to see your parents again. Be grateful it's happening all the sooner.
Twinkletoes stood in the threshold to the outside and breathed in the scent of the fresh night air. Her bundle of belongings, taken away from her upon arrest, now hugged tightly against her torso.
Freedom.
she thought.
Finally free again.
Wham! The prison door slammed shut, sending Twinkletoes and her belongings sprawling on the cobblestone. Her landing was less than graceful after a month in a prison cell. She groaned in pain as she pushed herself up to her knees.
The hell was that for?
She grit her teeth as she gathered her things in the darkness. Uneasiness washes over her for a second time, as a shadow moves in the darkness.
Someone else is here.
She swipes the rest of her items and several loose stones up into her bundle, and scrambles to her feet, her knees aching from the impact. Her eyes can no longer identify the shadow amidst the others, and she hurriedly distances herself from it and the prison.
Don't run. Don't draw more attention to yourself. Just go home. No. Not home, not yet. I need to make sure...
Twinkletoes' mind went blank. Her body reacted before her mind could. She twists into the air as 3 bolts soared through the spot where her torso was just a moment before. And then she was running, barely aware of the gash across her forearm from where one of the bolts had made contact. Her feet carry her several blocks before her flight response wore off, and she began to think again. Her ears perked, listening closely for following footfalls, and detecting only one set. She changes direction, a plan beginning to form. She dashes and weaves through the maze of alleyways that separated the prison from the docks, all the while paying attention to the fading sounds of her pursuer.
To get the upper hand.
Twinkletoes spotted a rooftop, a few feet lower than the others ahead. On approach, she launches herself into the air and swung over the ledge. She crawled to the next building and hoisted herself up onto the next roof a few feet.
There we are.
In the dark of the alleyways, where Twinkletoes wasn't able to tell exactly where her legs had taken her. But on this rooftop, she could finally collect her bearings. Past the rooftop, to the pier, and out to the bay. She took off again across the rooftops. Her breath was ragged by the time she reached her destination, but there was no helping that now. She found a door and she knocked, hoping it was loud enough to perhaps wake the owner, but not the neighbors. Who's there? The voice comes quickly. A rattling cough is all that manages to escape from Twinkletoes, startled by the rapid response. The door opens an inch, and the halfling meets the eyes of another of her kin. Eyes that widen in surprise. Twinkletoes? The battered halfling freezes upon hearing her name.
You know who I am?
And once more, we are in the lit and warm interior of the hideout
What?
of the Copper Hand.
What's happening?
Yeah. What?
So,
What?
round of applause
Intrigue?
for our
Oh.
very own Emily Grace, and well, another hero point to boot
Why
to
not?
start off the day.
Hey, Will, I also have a backstory scene I'm going to do right now. Because that second hero point sounds pretty dope. So,
Okay, go ahead.
Pretty choice.
No,
right
good.
about now,
Go.
you know.
This is a
It's,
collaborative
dark-
storytelling effort, so please.
dark and stormy night, and Oski was in a cell scratching things on the wall. And then someone said, "It's good behavior. You're being released 7 hours." Okay, anyway.
7 hours.
No, I want you to linger in that one for a moment. I'm not gonna say anything for.
And then Oski ate him. The end.
No, keep the guy, and you're like, all right, you can get back in. You can stay in there for a little longer.
Why don't we just go to the map? Why don't we just
Please.
go to the
To
map
the
now?
map.
There's a lot going
Map
on
time.
here. We just take a second to establish what's going on. So this spot right here. I don't know if you can see that. Nope, you can't. Right here. Yes, where I'm pinging right now. This is the staircase that led up to this floor from the
Yes.
DOS house below. This is also where you encountered those first 2 Copper Hand. Excuse me. They tried to flee south into this hallway where Kashak and Bastra now find themselves, only be stopped before entering this door. But Kashak was able to make out noise on the other side, and thusly you all prepared to breach. And upon doing so, you find a number of members of the Copper Hand, most of whom are unconscious, if not worse, on the ground around you right now. But two remain. Two Copperhand spellcasters who seem to be displaying a number of different illusory and damaging spells that have tried to confound your senses and assault your minds and bodies. But they seem to be on the ropes as we enter back in to the initiative order. Bastro, you're up. What would you like to do?
All right. So I do have a question. Did we determine whether or not we heard from behind? Hold on. Behind these two doors?
You're more than welcome to make a perception check to find out. But
Okay.
Nobody has done so thus far.
Got you. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let me mark. This is round 9 of my Bane, still active. I don't believe anyone succumbed to the Bane effects, like either of those two casters. So,
This one did.
okay, so he still got it. That's fine.
Yep.
Even better. All right.
And
so
a couple of
let
the
me
people who are unconscious did, but they don't matter.
And then last question, Kashak, are you climbing right now on that wall?
I am on the ground.
You're on the ground. Okay.
I am standing next to you.
Correct.
All right. First action. 5, 10, 15. First action, I'm going to sustain my Bane, so emits up to 20 feet now. So this guy is still within range.
Wow.
Second action, I'm going to move up to this spot. And then third action, I'm going to...
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna
Big Bad
slug this guy.
Bastro. I love it. I was waiting for it.
Slug him.
I was waiting
First-
for
First
Brawler
roll with
Bastro.
my metal D20 that I got for Christmas.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Thank you, my
Nice
coworker.
dice.
The
Let's hope
same
it's not-
one.
Yes,
Let's
very
go.
similar. Jesus, yeah.
Hey,
No,
nice.
they're the exact same thing.
Exactly.
They're
They're
all
From
Yeah.
the
similar.
from
Yeah.
the same company. Yep.
Twinsies.
It's still shocking how they're so similar.
Wow.
All right, that is a total of 23.
Brawler Bastro breaking some bones out here as you make contact. Go ahead and roll
All
damage.
right. Fortunately, I did not hit hard, but it's all right.
But you're still sending a
Any
message.
damage.
Oh,
is
a
good
natural
damage.
4 for a total of 5 damage.
Hey, 5 damage is 5 damage, man.
5 damage he didn't have a second ago.
Exactly.
There we go.
Okay.
That is Bastro's turn.
Yeah, so you catch him right across the chin. And these guys, they're not like particularly buff, or they don't seem to be particularly suited as much as their compatriots to close combat, close quarters combat. So yeah, you definitely got your lick in there.
I gotta teach him that real spellcasters still put up a fight, hand to hand.
Very good. Twinkle Toes, you're up.
My goodness. Okay. I don't know whether or not I have panache. Did I make a note in the notes? That's a good question, Emily Grace.
Is
no,
there a
I
note
don't
in
think
your
I did. Is there a
Well,
note in my notes? I don't have a
Lord.
I don't have a reminder up here anywhere. It has been 3 weeks. So anyway, I'm gonna assume I don't at this point.
Brave as
So
I appreciate that
So-
assumption.
what's going on with this circle over here again?
Right. So that circle is basically like a swirling mist that looks like if you imagine like a storm cloud where the lightning is shooting in the cloud and you can see like the flashes of color. It's like that, except that it's every color. It's all
Okay.
different colors. It's constantly flashing in these bright pinks, blues, reds, greens, every single hue, shade imaginable in like rapid succession. So even just looking at it from the outside, it kind of like makes your eyes hurt. But if you were to be like in it, and you know from actually you were already in it, Twinkle Toes, that it is quite literally blinding to be in that cloud.
Yeah, cool. So, I'm going to start by trying to fascinate this guy.
Sure, go ahead and roll
with a little
performance.
fascinating performance. I'm using my brand new dice gifted to me by my brother Greg. Thank you, Greg. Love
Thanks,
you.
Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
I might rescind this thing after this roll. We'll see. Just kidding. I love you so much. Okay. It's a natural 3.
I'll say it.
Thanks a lot,
Way to
Greg.
go, Greg.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot,
Way
Greg.
to go, Greg.
What's the total on that?
This 17.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to do it. It is
Yeah, I had a feeling.
regular failure.
All right.
I had to ask, your performance bonus is crazy. So,
It's technically my acrobatics bonus,
That's
but
true.
all of my
but
performances.
still, yeah,
I'm an acrobatic performer, so
yeah, still.
anyway. Regardless, second action. I am going to.
Could always tumble through to the other side.
I don't want to get in there though, so I'm not gonna do that.
Just a little rave cloud.
No, I'm just gonna try to smack him with the sheath of my Reaper's Lancet.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Do you have any
Yep.
poison in there still?
Yes, I have 1 dose left.
Very nice. Go ahead and roll to hit.
All right. That's a 25 to hit.
There we go.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Thanks, Greg.
Oh, I switched to a different dice. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
good.
Greg.
I take it back.
After a die rolls under a 10, then we go to a different dice, please.
Put you in jail
Don't
after the
forget,
first roll.
I should have said this for Bastro too, but +2 to damage for everything.
Oh, so
I'll take that.
7.
Yep.
So
I'll
2 more
take that.
points. Yeah.
Once
Thank you.
more, just like you hear the growling and like you don't even. It's not visual range, is it, Oski? It's just
not-
within.
it's anyone within my aura, which
Yeah,
is the light
so-
that you see.
He like set up this super powerful like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger pose stance with his shield and is just menacing.
wow.
It's so menacing that you all perform better
So
for the
scary.
fear of making him mad at you. So
Full drill charges,
Bastro,
bud.
you
Don't want to get eaten.
you punch a little bit harder because you know Oski will know if you don't do your best.
He's doing
So you hit. Go ahead and roll damage with the +2,
All right.
and if you want, you can take that reaction.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
All right, so go ahead and roll damage first.
Okay, so I did. I rolled poopy damage. That's 5 points of damage.
With the +2,
Oh no, 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Exactly the same amount as Bastro. So, as you
Oh,
slash
sorry.
right across, kind of like this.
More of a
this
thwack
Thwack.
because
yes.
I did it with the sheet.
Oh, if you did it with the sheath, then you can't use the poison.
Oh, that's true. So I'm not gonna do that right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to that for a minute.
Sounds good.
My third action, I'm going to perform again. I'm gonna try another fascinating performance on him.
As one does.
Although, wait, does fascinating performance have the flourish trait?
I don't know. I don't.
I'm checking. No, it does not. It's just general
Right,
skill.
but I don't believe he can be fascinated. You can still do it for the purposes of panache against his DC.
Only once it succeeds. If the, I
Oh, is that true?
believe.
It's we talk about fascinating performance every episode because it's always a different aspect.
Every time.
Oh yeah, no,
We're
no,
gonna
no.
tattoo it on
And the
ourselves
target
one
is
day.
then temporarily immune for 1 hour.
regardless of.
Yeah, I just want to get the entire page just tattooed right here.
Yeah.
So you
You
just
know,
refer
even
to
with
it.
it tattooed, we'd still get confused.
And then
Listen,
for-
it's a confusing thing, but
Yeah,
you know
fascinating performance is just like intimidating, like
See page
demoralizing.
86.
A lot of
for auditory
Even
trait,
an attempt.
for visual
is-
trait. Yeah, all the different traits.
Yeah.
But you can
Okay.
still, as we once again found out, you can still gain panache by succeeding, even if he is
Yeah,
not
I'm
fascinated.
still gonna perform. It's
Yes.
just not gonna be a fascinating one, particularly.
Yeah,
But
you're just
I'm
gonna make
trying to get
yourself
panache.
feel better. Yeah.
It's for my own morale. Yes, that's better. That's a 17 on the die for a 31.
31. That is not a critical success, unfortunately, but I don't think that makes a difference because you
It
do
doesn't
still
matter.
get panache.
I just got panache. Yay!
Yep.
Cool. That's all 3 of my actions.
Very, very nice. Okay, so after a few acrobatic frills and a good slash across the chest, it is now Oski's turn. Oski, maintaining your dread martial stance. What would you like to do?
He's in his dread martial stance, emitting this aura of pure fear that emboldens his allies. He currently has Glutton's jaws cast on him, so his face tattoos have transformed his jaw and neck into these grim tendrils.
Just a full Cthulhian horror.
Except Oski's not doing too hot. He's enfeebled too and dazzled, and really hurt and badly beaten.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
no.
You'll tell me how long those conditions last, right? Like they're still active.
Yes, they are.
All right. Well, Oski's first action is going to be to try and demoralize this spellcasty rogue in front of him,
Okay.
which does have the you have to target. So I think dazzled affects this, because anything you target, like dazzled impacts.
Once
I'm
more,
pretty
we
sure that's
refer
true.
to the traits.
Because it concealed a creature that you're. Everything is concealed to me. A creature that you're concealed from must succeed at a DC 5 flat check when targeting you with an attack, spell, or other effect.
Yeah, so you just have to
I think this
roll.
other effect.
So you just have to roll a 5 or a higher to actually be able
Yeah.
to intimidate them.
You have to be able
Alright.
to see them and find them enough to scream at them. Like
Yeah.
you have to find who you're shouting.
Yeah. So
The
yeah,
effect isn't
Oski's,
there if you're turned the other direction.
Oski's he hears Twinkle Toes like Twinkle Toes, I'm having trouble seeing, and he's gonna like sort of he sort of says that through the like the gnashing tendrils, but he's just gonna lash out with them and try to demoralize. So I'm also gonna use some new D20s, two
Ooh.
bigger dice.
Look at this holiday haul,
Yeah.
guys.
The gray one is gonna be the flat check. This one was the intimidate check.
Nice.
All right.
Oh my god, a 6 on the flat check. Okay, wow.
Scraping by.
We take those.
But a natural 1 on the intimidate.
Yay.
Well, you can't crit fail.
Fortunately,
I-
yeah.
15 intimidate check.
Yeah, he knows that his spell worked on you. And he heard you
Yeah.
say, Twinkle Toes, I can't see so good. So he's like, yeah, but I mean, come on. What are you going to do?
With that now working, Oski's second action will be to lash out violently with his tendrils. This will be a strike.
Yeah.
Same thing. The gray dice is flat check. The black dice is the to hit.
Go ahead and take another little nibble.
Oh, wow. All right, well, this was significantly better. Natural 19 on the flat check and a natural 18 to hit.
Let's go.
So that's a 33 to hit.
You just refer to my, yes, that's a hit.
Is it a crit?
It's
Is it a crit?
also a critical hit because it is more than 10 above his AC.
Thank God for spellcasting.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a lot.
All right. So this is 4d8 plus 12.
And this is the guy that you already broke the shield on as well. He already used his shield spell, and he used the shield block.
Oh, there's an 8. Okay.
He's had a bad time. What can I say?
31 points of damage. And you see Oski siphon some of that back into him as he also then has 13 temp HP.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so you
Oski just like rips into this guy, hearing him almost laugh at his attempt at demoralizing.
you just like latch straight onto his shoulder. The tentacles just enveloping his torso, upper torso, along his arm. And as you rip away the just orcish tusks beneath this writhing mass of tendrils, just this chunk falling to the ground, and you see that where the tentacles, like the almost like octopus suckers, have like ripped skin off along his torso and his arm.
Go!
Twinkletoes, you are once more reminded that there is something wrong with the man that is standing next to you.
But I've seen worse, so like.
I'm not qualifying that. All I'm saying is there is clearly something wrong with him.
Listen, I've been at sea. I know what octopuses look like. I'm not one to judge his Davy Jones's disc. You know, like it's a him deal.
Davy Jones bit.
And
Third action,
unfortunately, you have one
raises
more
his shield.
action. Ready the
Raises his
shield.
shield.
Okay. Oh man, he'll never financially recover from this. Kushak, you're up.
Yeah, I think Kashak maybe picks up on Oski whispering that he doesn't feel that Oski doesn't feel confident about his sight, but then in that same breath, just like watches him take an absolute chunk out of this guy. So he's gonna focus all of his efforts onto his hunted target over here.
Sure.
I'm gonna take a.
Ooh, Jack, you cut out there, bud.
True. We can't hear what you're saying.
You sound very, very far away.
Very, very far away.
There we go.
No,
That's
you're
better.
good. Perfect.
Start at the top of your action.
First action is the Hunter's Aim Strike, which is going to give me a +2 bonus while spending 2 actions. So let's do that.
We like that.
By
Okay.
do you mean you, the game master, like that? Because he has fewer actions?
I believe a 26 is going to hit.
Oh!
That will hit. What's your minimum damage? Just asking for a friend.
9.
Feel free to roll if you would like to know what the number is. However, Bastro, if you still had hair, you would have felt this graze right past your mohawk. However, you are only recently buzz cut.
Yeah.
And so this arrow just blinding speed whoof, right over your head, pinning this guy's shoulder to the wall. He just looks back up to you, his head not even fully making it back up before he just slumps forward, like hanging on the arrow. Got 2 more action, or 1 more action, but
One more action. Kashak, looked back at that guy, said, "They have it," and then turned to shoot his hunted target. Killed that guy, and then he's going to turn back to the first. So let's take a shot past.
Yep. I wasn't going to factor it in, or I didn't need to mention it for the last one, but he is going to have cover. You blew that out of the water still. Yeah.
I rolled a natural 2 on that strike anyway. That was a long shot in any case. So that will be Shock's turn.
Well, it was actually only about 15 feet. Anyways, go ahead.
Shikra has a free action. She can
Sheetha's
We
gonna
lost
use-
your audio again.
Sheetha's going to
there,
use
bud.
her free action to...
She's going to use her action to lick Bastro's hand very playfully. She's gonna take some time to
Now-
show some affection.
Just to make sure
Oh.
she's not the venomous kind of monitor lizard where her saliva will literally disintegrate his flesh, right?
Bastard doesn't care.
Bastro, we'll handle that when that comes to it in a route. What's
Can Bastard take a free action?
Just for
Bastard take a
fun.
free action to pet?
Just for fun. Go ahead and roll. No.
That's my
Let's
turn.
see. That's your turn. Ha! I do get around. This guy's gone through a lot of spells already. Just for your information,
Okay. Surrender is still.
Bastro. Oh, he didn't do that yet. Bastro, obviously, you saw him go invisible, and then the rest of you watched him pop up where he is now. He tried some kind of poison on Oski already. He also, I believe, touched Oski and sucked life energy out of him before getting bitten back. Just a little swap of temporary HP
He's
back and
just
forth there.
yeah, we're just trading temp HP.
But one thing he hasn't done is run away in fear.
Huh.
The exits are blocked.
Yeah, get past the orc with the tower shield or whatever
The
he
one
has.
with the super high reflex DC. He's going to try to. Oh, but there's more of you. Oh, that does make it harder, actually.
If you were to, I don't know. Yeah.
I think with his first action, he will. It's actually going to be two actions. Twinkle Toes, go ahead and roll me a will saving throw.
Oh.
Oh. I'm gonna use my reaction now. For Charmed Life, which gives me a +2 to this.
Okay,
Um,
alright, okay.
When danger calls, you have a strange knife coming out on top. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to the triggering save.
Okay, alright, okay.
Okay. It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. First thing I should mention, Oski, at the end of your turn, you are no longer dazzled. Forgot to mention that.
Nice. That's really
Second
important.
thing I will mention is that, unfortunately, Twinkle Toes, you are now also dazzled. This wave of, it looks very similar to the persistent cloud, but just this spray of color, one might say, erupts from his hand as he almost pocket sands you with the arcane gesture. And just erupting from his palm, this spray of multicolored brilliance splashes over your face and your eyes. You get the like stars in your eyes as you're no longer able to focus. Doesn't know if
that
that'll.
it looked really, really, really cool, though.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a rave and you've had one of those guys with the gloved hands, where
I've performed at many, yes.
they shift the lights on the fingertips and they do the little like, you know, performances.
Yeah.
That's what it was like, except magical. Demonstrably magical. He will then use his final action to attempt to tumble through. He knows you are dexterous, but you are somehow still the path of least resistance. This is against your reflex DC, so that is your reflex save plus 10. He's gonna get a 29.
That makes sense.
Oh.
These guys, while they are spellcasters, they are thieves first, and thus are nimble. 5, 10, getting through you. 15 to there with the difficult terrain. 20. And it all ends up the same. He will 25 to right there with his final action. Woof. Yeah, he's not having a good time. Bastro, top of the round. What would you like to do?
It's the last round for my Bane. So I'll keep it cast. I'll no need to sustain it because he's right next to me. Let's see. Baster is going to casually walk right past the doorway here, kind of looking at this guy like, "Where do you think you're going?" And
Just
I think he's
points out the
gonna.
door.
And then he's gonna stay right there. Second action, he's throwing hands.
Yeah.
Can't stop this guy.
We love it. Go ahead and throw some hands and some dice while you're at it.
Oof, not that good. Dirty 20.
Not quite enough.
So he is -1 AC.
Yes.
Because of Bane. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Not quite enough. You are, shall we say, just off of hitting him. As you round the corner, you two, like, face to face in this almost Three Stooges manner. Your, like, hurried hand comes out, but he, like, just bounces back a little bit, and you brush off the side of the door frame next to you. Got one more action. What would you like to do?
Third action, Basher will cast Shield on himself.
Okay, good call. Oski, you're up. You watched as he threw color, very similar to what happened to you, threw color into Twinkletoe's face. She seemed similarly affected, but now your dazzling stars in your eyes are no more. What would you like to do?
Didn't Twinkle Toes go before me?
You are, in fact, correct. Twinkletoes, you're dazzled. What would you like to do?
So dazzled means what exactly?
So,
My eyes are
it's party
overstimulated.
Yeah, everyone's concealed.
yes.
Everyone's concealed. So that means I have to roll a flat check of what to be able to hit?
DC 5.
Five.
So roll.
Yes.
Okay. First action. I am going to 5, 10, 15 up to him. There's
Sure.
so much more space in that. Second action, I'm going to strike him with the sword. I have panache. This is gonna be a confident finisher.
So roll your flat check first.
Uh-huh. But I'm confident.
Confident.
It's a
That's
6.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
What is up with these sixes on the
Yeah, that's what.
concealment
Yeah.
roll?
Alright. This is the confident finisher. I'm gonna spend my first hero point for that one.
Oh.
Why not?
And
Put
the
him in the ground.
rich get richer.
I believe in that. What was the
Yeah.
roll?
It was a 3.
Yeah, hero point that every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day of the week.
For that natural 10, that's better. That's a 25
Better.
to hit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
That's for sure.
that's a hit.
Yeah.
And again, you can roll the damage if you want to know the number.
I
but
do. It's 5d6, so I'm going.
That's a lot of damage.
5d6
Let's do it.
plus
That's a lot
3.
of
Minimum
damage.
5.
5d6 plus 3. 5, 6, 10, 14, 17 points of damage on that.
All I hear is he's dead.
Yeah. Somebody get some flex tape because this man's is leaking in the kitchen. He is done.
Am I still dazzled?
You are dazzled for all of 4 more seconds.
Lol.
Yeah.
I got something in my eye, guys. I don't think it's his blood.
Twinkletoes, go ahead and roll me a perception check while
Okay.
you are.
Can we talk about the fact that that combat took us 3 sessions and roughly 7 weeks?
Yeah. That was
That's the
nutty.
longest I've ever been in initiative order in my life.
Welcome to Enemy Spellcasters. Twinkletoes, what'd you get on that perception there?
Do I still need a flap check? Am I still dazzled?
No, you're good.
No.
Okay. That's a nice 11 off of that natural 1.
Oof.
Listen, I still have things in my eyes. That's
Yeah, so
I'm still rubbing my eyes at this point.
you're like looking to the side on this wall right here, kind of now over where the man's body is on the ground. There seems to be like a parchment poster of some kind that's there, but you notice that it looks like they've been like throwing knives at it, basically, because you see like there are daggers and knives that are stuck into the table. It looks like they're playing like 5-finger fillet, and it looks like they were using whatever was on this poster as like a throwing knife target. But you're unable to really make out anything more.
Let's loot some bodies, shall we?
Vaster will first pick his staff up because I'm pretty sure he dropped it mid combat, and
Let's
then
establish that too. Yep.
and then also cast stabilize on any people who are still breathing, basically.
Yeah, the one that just went down to Twinkle Toes, and the one that just went down to Kashak at the very end. Those two are far beyond help. The health that they were at and the amount of damage that was dealt. Yeah. The rest, however, seem to be savable? Question mark. You're gonna have to remind me. It's a cantrip, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's like the first thing you do, you can stabilize the other.
I think he's just walking and casting on anybody, and if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick. But if it does, like that's at least something.
You're able to save the other
around.
four. You're able to save the other four that are unconscious in various spots. It's just those two. Oof. Yeah, no.
Bastro is going to call. Anyone have any extra rope, just so we can tie these guys up? They're still unconscious, but I just don't want them waking up and coming after us behind us.
Yeah, I've got some. I can take care of that. Can someone come look at this? I've got something in my eyes. I can't see right now. Can someone?
Well, hold up. Are we also looting said bodies as we are tying them up and pulling them together?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. So let's start there.
Oski does not partake in any of that. Oski, still under the effects of this spell, is going to start walking down the hallway.
Oh no.
Kashak lets you go. Kashak will tell Twinkle Toes, like, okay, I'll take a look at that parchment in a second. Let me sort through these belongings here. We'll do things in a second. So Kashak's going to start off looting bodies, and then he's going to check out the parchment that Twinkle Toes is talking about, but he lets Oski go right past him.
Okay. You begin collecting the various accoutrements as you drag the bodies together, Bastro waving a hand over each of them, muttering a brief word to stop any active bleeding and keep them from completely going under. You see that both of the spellcasters have a spell book on them. They both have a dagger, which appears to have some kind of magical rune in it. The same rune, one rune on each of the daggers. And both of them do actually have a potion on them as well. But those, all three of those are going to require more time to decipher.
Right.
The kind of run-of-the-mill, apparently grunt-type folk, they all have pretty much what you seem to be understanding as standard fare when it comes to these guys. Across all of them, you find 3 doses of black adder venom. Once again, Twinkle Toes is very, very familiar with this at this point. You find
straight to her, not even
another 20 crossbow bolts, 3 more hand crossbows, 3 more short swords, 3 more sets of leather armor. But this is going to take you guys about 5 to 8 minutes.
I'd say we leave the leather armor on them. We're not trying to take that off.
If you don't take the leather armor off, it's going to take like 3-4 minutes as you rifle their pockets.
Yeah, I think we just take the weapons and equipment and leave the armor across the board. I'll take a look at the bulk and make sure we're not like completely throwing it away. I'll do that later. But,
Going up there, big man?
Oski is not waiting 3 or 4 minutes. He is instantly going. So what does he see around this corner?
You see a staircase going up to. Well, I'll just show you. If you look down and to the left on the map, Oski, you are standing at the bottom of this staircase here. So this spot.
Oh yeah, okay. He's not gonna go up there quite yet because there's still a door he wants to go in. But he'll see it's a staircase, and then he'll just turn back and open this door.
And open that door. So up at the, if you're looking up the stairs, you notice like the very, very top of a door that you can make out at the end.
Okay.
It's not a very tall, like a not very long staircase. It only goes, it's about 15 feet long, 10 feet up. And then you can see like the top of a doorway at the end of a hall over there. You open this door. You open this door. You see a sturdy wooden table with matching stools that dominates this messy, windowless room. The table itself seems to be covered in scraps of parchment, hammers, screwdrivers, bits of clockwork, and more obscure engineering accoutrement.
He's in here.
Said room to you now.
Is this another door over here?
It's not a door, but it does appear to be like an entryway. Like there's something beyond there, but you cannot see into the area beyond without.
And Oski will enter and peer around the corner.
Is Oski still all tentacly?
Yeah, that's why he's doing this, because he's not really in full control of himself right now.
How long does
It's
that
a
last?
minute. It's a minute.
It's a minute.
I imagine
How many rounds
walking,
you go through in
walking and
combat?
opening the door. I was on round 3 when we ended combat, so I'd gone through.
You gotta-
You know, I imagine this isn't
15
taking that
seconds.
long, so
40,
it still
45
has
seconds.
a little bit.
What's your perception modifier?
Perception modifier is a +10.
You look beyond
Beyond.
into this
Into the
room.
beyond.
You see like spools of copper wire, tin nozzles, other bits of metallic scrap, which are scattered and flung about this room. It looks almost like some kind of like whirlwind went through here because everything is just scattered to the edges. But in the middle, you see this vat of liquid. It appears to be bubbling despite no visible heat source.
Drink it.
It's this almost, even through whatever haze that you're in, this like nauseating fume seems to just waft at you as soon as you round this corner. Let me go ahead and
I'll
reveal.
tell you what's happening. Oski is he's like hunting essentially. If he doesn't see a person, he's gonna leave this room. Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't see a person. He leaves, and then walks up the stairs. And Will, just tell me when you think it's been about 40 seconds.
I would say you probably make it about halfway up the stairs, and then
Halfway up the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Oski will collapse halfway up the stairs and just like stay there for a while.
Okay. You all like hear the thudding of his footsteps back and forth and back and forth, and then just a crunch of metal armor, like plates clacking together as you hear Oski hit the ground somewhere beyond. What do y'all do?
After
We get through
Bastro's,
the. Go ahead, Bastra.
Oh, after Bastro's done stabilizing, he's gonna inspect the whatever pipe that one Copperhand guy used
Sure.
earlier. I know it was in the corner of that one room, right here.
Yes, it is directly in the corner there.
And once we're done with the body looting, Kashak will take a look at the parchment that Twinkletoes alerted
Sure.
everyone to.
Bastra, you see a long iron, maybe, pipe that runs floor to ceiling here, but then also splits off with like a T intersection and goes along the wall here. Let me snap to corner. It goes like along the wall here at about shin height, so like under the windowsills, and then back down. It doesn't go floor to ceiling here, but it goes along the wall here, and then down into the floor in along the wall in this square here.
Got you. And can I make like a check to see like what it is, or
Sure. Do you have engineering lore?
no?
Then unfortunately, you could try to make an argument for something else, another skill that you are trained or expert in.
See, I think scouting lore would be an excellent choice here because I am scouting out this particular object and what it does.
Oof. No. Scouting lore is not
surgery
the
lore.
Scouting lore is
Oh.
unfortunately not the universal I'm looking at it so I know what it is skill.
So I would argue
Call
surgery lore would be I am dissecting what this thing is and how it works. So
You're making some strong
I'm gonna start
arguments.
I'm gonna start calling Dan Mr. Fantastic. He is stretching right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bastro, I mean, you watched what they did with it. You saw that you opened the door, this woman got this hammer, and it looked like she was, intently watching, or like intent about her strike with the hammer on the pipe. It reverberated in a much like cleaner tone. Like you've hit metal pipes or heard metal pipes being hit before. This was like a much cleaner tone, a much more sustained tone. It was very obviously designed to resonate more than the average like plumbing pipe. But outside of that, you are unfamiliar with whatever is going on here.
Well, we know it's some kind of alarm system, right? We
Basically,
know that
yeah.
for sure. We know that this is the only people who responded to it, the ones we just took down, which means that anyone or anything that is upstairs, either,
It's
this is now
preparing.
my assumptions, is either comfortable with the fact that we're dead or is preparing for us upstairs.
Yeah.
More than likely, yeah.
After we're done looting the bodies, I'm gonna go looking for where Oski went off to.
Sure.
I just noticed he's gone.
As you're crossing through here, you do notice the fact that this door is now open.
I go in there.
What's your perception modifier?
Plus 10.
Twinkletoes, you hear very faintly. It almost sounds like shuddering, like a very slight trembling noise. It seems to be
I see.
coming from under the desk.
I see all the clockwork stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name? It was Kona of the girl that we...
Kolo.
Kolo?
Mm-hmm. K-O-L-O.
I'm looking for Gribbs.
Yeah.
Gribbs was
so
the
I'm
name
gonna
of the
say-
man. Yeah.
I'm gonna say... Gribbs? Is that you? Kolo sent us to find you.
you hear the creaking of like wooden floorboards as it sounds like weight begins to shift from under the desk. You watch as very, very slowly one hand, fingers like wrap around the lip of the desk opposite from you, as it is like a covered, like a three-sided wooden desk, and from the open side of the workstation, a messy flop of brown hair emerges. You see small, round glasses begin to peer up, light blue eyes, a man whose face is haggard, cheekbones sunken, unkempt stubble, and what at one point would have been a rather nice semi-formal jacket and shirt combo, now dirty and soiled, presents himself as he stands up, not quite full height, but somewhat hunched over, leaning against the desk now. Did you say Colo? And that's where we're going to take our break.
Hey.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to be back in about 14 minutes. So, what is that, 8:40 Eastern Standard
8:40.
And then we will try to go a little bit longer since we had a little bit of a late start. Not much, but just enough so that you're getting your money's worth. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everybody, as we return to the den of the beast. A man by the name of Gribbs has presented himself after mostly successfully hiding under the bench, save for Twinkletoes' keen senses.
Do you, in fact, have keen eyes, which lets me gives me a +2 circumstance bonus when using the seek action to find hidden or undetected creatures within 30 feet of you. So
Yo. And I love that I failed to find him when I walked in. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's
Because
befitting.
you would have eaten that guy.
It's very fitting because I rolled a natural 1 for Oski's perception check.
I'm for once happy about a natural one.
But you say, Gribbs, is that you? Colo sent us.
that is what I said.
He timidly, carefully brings himself out from under the desk. Says, did you say Colo? This look of confusion, of maybe shock across his face, almost like he doesn't want to believe what he's hearing. How do you know Colo? You're not from the Copper Hand, and you like see that he's like staring at your armor, at like the pockets everywhere that there have been Copper Hand insignia on other people. He's like quickly like checking off, like making a mental checklist of everything about you to try to figure out who he's dealing with.
No, we're not with the Copper Hand. We're trying to stop them. We stopped the bank heist.
Wait.
Took care of everyone there except for Colo. But she wanted us to save you. So she said you were her friend.
So,
I thought your clockwork dog. It was really cool, but I'm sorry I did kill it.
so you stopped the bank heist, but Colo sent you? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
So I don't have a whole ton of time to explain it right now because we're still sort of trying to take out the Copper Hand. But
Oh, right. I heard the alarm.
Yeah.
Here, and he just like, kind of like, side hops around the desk, and just waits here for a second. He's like, "Can I?"
You're not gonna stab us in the back or anything, are you?
I don't even know how to hold a dagger. No.
All right,
No.
but your inventions are really cool, so I'm gonna trust you for now, and I'm
Yeah.
unsure about it.
And he does that almost like skip around like the corners like a puppy who's being let out of a cage. It seems like it's the first time he's been allowed out of this room in perhaps a while. And
What's his ancestry? Is he human?
he's a human. He's a human.
Okay.
Oski, by the way, is at the
Threatening
bottom of
this
the
guy,
stairs now.
And he
Oski,
like
there you are.
dashes into this room, where he sees Bastro like trying to figure out what's going on with this pipe, and he just taps Bastro on the shoulder. Excuse me, can I just get the hammer there real quick?
Whoa, who are you? What's
Gribbs.
hello?
Oh, this guy.
Hey.
My name is Gribbs.
Kashak, Twinkletoes.
I fall.
Immediately calls out for his comrades because he has no idea who
Drawn,
this guy
arrow
is.
trained on Gribbs.
Bastro also is now letting him grab that hammer.
Guys, chill. This is the guy that Kone wanted us to get.
Why is he trying to use this metal contraption that I am trying to devise what it is?
I think he's trying to cancel the alarms and give the all clear.
Are you
Actually,
sure?
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Sense motive immediately.
What's your perception check?
Shift up to 12.
Really?
I like no nonsense Bastro. I like no nonsense Bastro.
You're not even sure that he's human.
Oh.
Can I sense motive?
Uh,
Also?
Sure.
Okay.
I imagine you implicitly trust that guy. I don't know.
I do not. Bastard does not trust this guy.
Twinkle Toes does. I know Vasper doesn't.
Twinkle Toes, as far as you're aware, he seemed to be telling the truth.
Okay. What I said is actually what I feel and not okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, you said I don't have much time. And he was like, "Oh, the alarm," and then jumped out of the room.
Yeah.
Vasper, if this man is who he says he is, he knows that machine better than any of us. Perhaps give him the
Yeah,
hammer.
did you invest in lore engineering? Because I did.
What level are you now? Yeah,
Higher than
Bastro
you in engineering.
will trust Twinkle Toes, his longest standing friend in this group, and will step aside.
He takes the hammer and he kind of just like does that little twirl where the head spins around really quickly a couple of times and then just ting, ta-ting, ta-ting, and then sets it back down on the ground. Okay, you've got more time.
Thank you.
Well,
Just for our information, what exactly did you just do?
well, they had me rig the pipes across all 4 floors. To be honest, I'm surprised you made it up to the 2nd floor without it going off. They usually have somebody downstairs, but they had me rig it across all 4 floors so that if they saw anybody, they could hit the pipe and everybody would know.
Okay, there are 2 more floors.
Yeah, we're on the. Oh, Ben, you're totally muted.
Oski kind of stumbles into the room at this point. Thank you, EG.
You're welcome.
And you can see Oski is badly hurt. Back to his normal self with the face tattoos intact. He says, "Oh, how many more people are upstairs, or did they all come down?" And he sort of like glances to the bodies on the floor.
And he just like kind of, for what appears to be like the first time, actually looks around him and at the ground, and you just see his face, the blood just draining away, and he stammers a little bit. Can we go back to my workshop? And he like puts his hand over his stomach. This is a lot.
Yes, yes. I do my best to support him, like.
Yeah, he almost stumbles, and you kind of catch him by the hip as you press up against his weight, falling
I'm
down
like
to the
acting
side.
as a cane, like holding up my hands like this. I become a cane for him.
Yeah, he picks you up by your other arm and starts using you as a crutch. Walks back in, and it's just really weird because it seemed like he was so excited to leave, and now all of a sudden he's deriving this strange sense of comfort from coming back into this room, where you watch as like he takes a seat and his face begins to recolor itself as his erratic breathing calms and slows. He begins just like spinning a gear that's on the table, almost absent-mindedly, and he looks back. I don't know everybody that works, lives, operates out of here. I mostly knew the people on this floor, but from the few times I was out, maybe, and he's like straining as he's thinking about it. maybe 6 or 8 more.
That's not bad, actually. It's much better than I expected.
Hey,
But there are other things besides people here.
other of your special creations?
Well, no. I did make more, but I don't know what they did with them because I know they packed them up into crates and took them somewhere. But I don't know.
Are we dealing with traps, creatures, non-humanoids?
Oh.
What would you suspect to be up there?
Well, that's a really interesting and specific list of things that you just gave me there. Yeah, non-humanoids. I would recommend not going in there. And he like points to the adjacent room.
The one Oski went into earlier.
Well, he didn't go
I
into.
never went
he went
in.
into the
I
door.
looked into.
Peeked
I
into,
looked into.
Yeah.
5 feet away from disaster, shall we say? I don't know where they got it, but it's some kind of ooze. That. Well, I'd never seen anything like it before, but they got it from someone, and they wanted me to try to make another one. I think I did, but it's not quite the same.
Is the original ooze somewhere upstairs?
No, they're both in there. But I don't go in there anymore. And I would recommend you don't either.
Kashak will fire 2 arrows in the doorway, just in the square in front of it to mark don't go in there. That's a no-go zone. It's into the floor to mark what's going on with it.
Cool. I'm glad you made a distinction.
Yeah.
Are there escape routes upstairs, or do we have time? Are we able to take stock here before going up the stairs?
Well, I mean, I gave the all clear, but that doesn't mean somebody won't want to come check out why the pipe was hit in the first place.
Coming down the stairs is not my concern. My concern is escaping a different way.
And leaving the building some way we won't find them.
I don't
Wait.
know.
Why are we talking about escaping before we take out everybody in this hideout? We need a.
We're worried about them escaping our grasp.
Oh,
Let's make
okay.
sure we have everybody we can.
Oski is bleeding profusely.
I don't.
Twinkle Toes, without even looking, just hands him a healing potion.
Oski refuses and says, "If we have time, we don't need to use potions. That's why
Correct.
I'm curious."
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, the only way out is through the bottom floor. I mean, they could theoretically try to go out the windows, I suppose, but
The 3-story drop.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Oski, upon hearing that, is gonna literally just pull up one of the chairs from this bottom room and sit right here and start refocusing.
Twinkle Toes, go ahead and make a diplomacy roll.
Diplomacy?
Just to represent the entirety of this encounter thus far.
Sweet.
Really quick, unfortunately, I don't think Mr. Gribbs answered Kashak's first question. What specific signal did he give with those kind of 5 dings with the hammer on the metal pipes? Is that turning off the alarm, or was he sending a signal that said everything's cool, don't come down here?
Oh, well, it's not really that complex.
Okay.
In as many words. The first one is just someone's here or someone's coming. Well, there's a couple of them, but they didn't have a chance to do any more patterns. They didn't if you had waited, for instance, 6 more seconds, they could have said that they were under attack. But that was just someone is here. And then I gave the they're gone. They left. So they could think that means any number of things.
They could think that we like passed by and left. They have much less information than we think they do.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely like shit's going down alarm.
No, but it's like they gave the kind of, hey, we're kind of upset alarm, but then okay, everything's fine.
Yeah,
So that could be a false
that's
alarm
good.
entirely.
That's good for us.
But again, the only exit from this place is through the front door. So
So how much
And then come down the stairs.
time do you think will pass before they send someone to come check? I'm just
I don't know. Somebody
Fair
might
enough.
just want to go get a bite to eat, and they would see, and he kind of like shudders again a little bit. They would see that as he like points towards the open door. Twinkle Toes, what'd you get on the diplomacy check?
27.
27. Well, that's not too bad there, Twinkle Toes. Not too bad at all.
Thank you. I am an expert in diplomacy, so.
An expert, you said.
You also had a little bit of bonus there from mentioning Colo in your first interaction. So that
Little
definitely
Colo
helps. Little Colo
Hello,
bonus.
Bono.
Classic
Ah.
Colo Bono.
What else would you do without a Colo Bono? So
chilling.
you see that like throughout the course of this conversation, while he is still very obviously, maybe even beyond just being kept in here, a bit of a shut-in, and a generally timid person, Twinkle Toes, throughout this entire time, you're able to, through facial expression, through body language, through
Flattery of his creations.
flattery of his creation, maybe even some like just, you know, diplomatic and tactful ums and ahs as you search his table, able to kind of slowly bring him back to a place of comfort, a place where he's beginning to be more and more sure of the fact that you all aren't there to hurt him, that you all are there to help him, and that he might even finally get out of here. And you can see the tension gradually draining from like his face and his shoulders. You see that he becomes a little bit more lively, though still again timid. He becomes a little bit more animated in his mannerisms. Well, I guess I should ask. I presume that you all are here to stop the Copper Hand. Since
Yes,
you
would presume
Yeah.
correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
stopped their bank heist.
We did? Mm-hmm.
Well, I might be able to make a donation or two to the cause. Any like
Give me one of those corkscrew dogs.
he has no more corkscrew
New
dogs.
companion!
Trade out my companion for a corkscrew dog. I will not trade it.
Unfortunately,
He's cool.
no more corkscrew dogs. He does, however, go into some of the drawers in his desk. He will pull out for you 2 vials of some alchemical concoction. He says, "Here, I was making this for them, but I prefer you had it. 2 salves of slipperiness.
Ooh.
It'll help with, you know, it makes you slippery. Pretty.
What use do we need for lubricant? I don't understand.
I don't presume to know what you would want to do with it. I'm just merely offering it for your benefits.
Is this a joke to you?
clearly over his head.
Wait. Why is Bastard talking like Gimli? What use have we for lubricant?
And my axe.
Baxter is very hurt and very upset.
What use might we have for this lubricant?
What are you gonna do? Toss it? He also pulls out. He also pulls out a wand. He says, if any of your equipment is broken, this should. If any of you can use wands, this should mend it.
Oh.
Ooh,
Say
Oski.
a
What's
wand
that?
of mending,
Yeah.
and then he pulls
Astro,
out.
you can use wands, can't you?
Yes, but I think Oski, if he can use divine
Oski
magic,
can also, yeah.
Oh.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
that
benefit
works
him
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
in case his shield breaks.
That's a banger
Oh,
Oski
that's
item.
good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, I suppose.
And then finally he pulls out a what looks to be like a tube of almost like cardboard, but it's not like actually cardboard. It's like a heavy paper, and you can see that it's got like a ripcord on one side, and the other side is just a thinner, almost parchment top. He says, "This is a greater smoke stick. If you just you pull here, and it well, yes, whatever you think you could use a lot of smoke for. This should help with that."
I believe our friend Twinkletoes here would find some fun uses for a lot of smoke.
What? Sure.
I believe, yes.
I don't know what a smoke stick is, but
Like, kind of goes with the whole
Diversions?
superhero
Yeah,
vibe you're
absolutely.
going for.
yeah. What? You think I'm a? Do you think I'm a superhero, Kashak?
I meant vigilante. Anyway, going on.
All right.
And he actually, I think, also will walk over to Oski with the salves of slipperiness. I think you would have the hardest time breaking free of something with your armor and all that. All it does is give a +2 to escape or squeeze.
Yeah.
With acrobatics.
But
So
that
I
could
think-
be huge.
And you're the only one not trained, correct?
I am not trained.
Pretty sure that Bastro is trained. Is that right?
In acrobatics,
Yeah.
sounds like something I should be trained in. I am. Yep.
I see that you're
I am
perhaps a
as
bit
well.
tighter of
Sorry.
movement. So perhaps Oski, you could make use of this as well.
And
he
Oski's
also-
just kind of nodding because he's only half listening because he's concentrating deeply on like a little chocolate bar in front of him.
So Pishak will kind of be having these two vials in hands, and a little bit roughly will kind of plant them on the table next to the chocolate bar you're focusing on, and swiftly turn back.
He also says, I have a few more things that I would give you, but they're in a chest," and he like points back to the side room.
Oh.
Is it worth?
How do we get those items without making us ooze food?
Mage hand, mage hand.
If any of you were particularly stealthy, or could perhaps get something without alerting them somehow, they're one of my creations that I'm quite proud of. There's an Aeon Stone in there. A couple of scrolls and a pendant.
Okay, it sounds like fighting the ooze may even be worth it if it comes to
Yeah, sounds like it
Yeah.
is.
that.
Mr. Gribbs, do you believe that the oozes would sense us better if we were on the floor? I'm pretty adept at climbing on walls. If you think that might be of any sort of advantage to us in this.
So here's the problem. I still don't really
Stay on the
know
walls
what
too?
they are. They have a very clear alchemical formula, which is what I copied. But the problem is that the alchemical ingredients that went into, well, it's the sum is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It does things and reacts in ways
God.
that I just don't know what it is.
And it was two very scary oozes before.
It was one ooze, very scary, as you said, but they had me make one, a copy of it. It's not as big, but it's still scary.
From where Bastro is standing, can he see inside the room anything?
You see a vat of liquid that appears to be boiling, despite
Oh,
no,
that. Okay.
no flame.
Can I, based on like the liquid, like the substance, and also the color, can I like roll a recall knowledge to see? Since I know I'm dealing with a kind of ooze, can I make like some kind of recall
Sure, he
knowledge?
did say that it was an ooze, and you do have that bit of visual information.
Yeah, that's solid.
Oozes always trip me up.
Yeah, they're.
They're hard.
Vacation. Let me just make sure I'm asking for the right thing. So, and of course I have to go to a different page here. They are one of those. It's occultism, actually.
Hey, I'm actually good at that.
It's a what?
Occultism.
Occultism.
I'm not gonna hero point that.
You may have cut out. I don't know if
you
anyone
cut
else.
out.
Oh,
I-
sorry. I was making random noise. 22.
22. You have no idea. This is not. Oozes themselves are fairly uncommon, though there are. I'm trying to say this without being like super vague or contradictory. There are oozes that are much more well known because they are a more common type of ooze. But oozes themselves as a whole are not common. On top of that, this appears to be a
Particularly.
particularly rare subspecies because it does not demonstrate any of the stereotypically natural colors of oozes. So, for instance, you can think of like various colors. For one of the big ones is like an ochre jelly. Like they're all related to specific colorations that they exhibit, which tend to be derived from more natural pigmentations. This is, I mean, it almost looks like a watered.
Is it transparent?
It looks like a watered down molten silver, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Oh.
It does, yeah. Like kind of what kind of looks like I don't know, but
it looks.
We know oozes are particularly problematic for us because out of game, we deal a lot of precision damage. We fought a gelatinous cube a while ago,
yes.
So we know that from fighting that, it gave us a run for our money.
It looks like watered down mercury, like a dark watered down mercury, where it's like shimmering, shining, boiling. You see that it does that thing where like little beads of it will pop up on the surface, and then they like vibrate around before they plop back into the hole. It as he mentions, it appears to be exhibiting just behaviors, exhibiting tendencies that are vastly unlike your experience with ooze, and thus you are unable to identify what's going on here.
Mr. Grips, it might help us to know exactly what we're going after in this chest. I know you said an 8-ounce stone and a couple scrolls, but If you could perhaps be a bit more specific, it might help us in our calculations on
Oh,
whether this is worth
sure.
our time.
Yeah, I suppose that that would be helpful. Um, the Aeon Stone is well, it's known as a gold nodule Aeon Stone. It essentially imprints the wearer with a language. Um, the particular one that they asked me to imprint on this stone was Vudrani, but I'm not sure why they asked for that language specifically.
Well,
I also want to know why.
There
Odd choice.
are two scrolls of creation, which can be an interesting a spell, and then a pendant of the occult that they had me whip up for them. So, creation. Let me just bring it up here.
Astro, do you speak Vudrani?
nope. That's why I want that pendant.
Cool,
Or
so
the-
we're going
the
in
stone.
for it. Definitely.
So creation
Oh my god, that's a 4th level spell.
lets you conjure a temporary object out of energy, eldritch energy. It must be of a vegetable matter, such as wood or paper, and 5 cubic feet or smaller. It can't rely on any intricate, complex moving parts. Never fills a cost for like a reagent, or anything with a rarity of uncommon or higher. It is obviously temporary and thus cannot be sold or passed off as a genuine item. Basically, if there is something that you need, and it is within, say, 5 cubic feet of volume, which is fairly large, you can create it with this
You make like a
spell.
specific key for a lock of a door that you don't have.
It would have to be like of wooden or like paper.
Yeah, it would have to
nature.
be, again, vegetable matter, so wood, paper.
Natural, some sort of like.
Yeah, reed.
But I mean, even a wooden key would turn. You know,
Cloth,
I don't maybe I
yeah.
don't know. That's just one example. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean this chest this chest seems like something we should explore for sure.
Well, it's
We
where
should
I
make
kept
sure
the-
we plan correctly.
That's where I kept the nice stuff.
so,
And the pendants of the occult. Let's see here.
Yeah, I've got it up. It gives
Oh,
a
yeah, go ahead.
+1 to occult checks and it grants the wearer an innate spell or innate cantrip of guidance.
I want that. I want it all.
Bastro
I
wants
want
it
it
all.
for I want it for Bastro. So,
Yeah.
Graves, direct me through where to get to this box. How heavy is the box? Can I take it out? Or do I need to pick that lock there or like something?
Sure.
Tell me what I need
He hands you a metal key. He says, therein lies kind of the problem. They tend to eat metal, and so taking metal in there, that could be an issue. And you could try to take the key in, or you could try to take the box, but it's pretty heavy.
How heavy?
Well, it's about 80 pounds. And well, I mean, you certainly look capable, but I don't know how quiet you can lift an 80-pound box and move it.
How much bulk is 80 pounds?
8.
It's like 8. Yeah.
A lot
So-
of bulk.
I believe Kashak could actually probably carry that unencumbered. And it
Yeah, and
would
you're pretty
maybe-
stealthy, right?
Yeah, and I don't think encumbered affects your stealth score.
I don't believe so.
What is your stealth bonus?
I believe we have the same one, unless you have some kind of bonus to it. But I have a plus 14 to stealth.
No, you have a higher stealth than I do.
Okay. It might be Kashak going in for the chest and take the chest out.
Encumbered does affect stealth.
Is it a -2?
It's -1 because you become clumsy 1, which affects your
Okay.
stealth.
Okay.
That makes
But I'm
more
still,
sense.
you know, going to a -13 or +13.
You want to leave some
wanna-
things on the ground behind? Make yourself alive?
I mean, no,
Wait,
my armor
wait, wait, wait,
is listing most of
Wait,
it.
wait,
I have
wait, wait.
4 bulk
I
on me.
take off my belt of heavy lifting and say, I want this back.
What does that do?
So it's the lifting belt. This wide leather belt grants you a +1 item bonus to athletics checks and increases the amount you can easily carry. You can carry bulk equal to 6 plus your strength modifier before becoming encumbered. And you can hold and carry a total bulk up to 11 plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, after the alterations, it becomes more of a sweatband of heavy lifting for Kashak, but it'll work.
Actually, yeah. If I don't carry my bow in, I'm only carrying 3 bulk, and my max capacity would be 11, which means that if I carried the, it's encumbered at the value.
I think you can go
I think it's
up
over.
to, but not over.
Yeah, it's
Up-
you have to be over the value.
Yeah.
Okay, if I don't take my bow in with me, I will be carrying 3 bulk, and then the chest will be 8 bulk, and then I will walk out at 11 bulk, which the belt lets me carry without being encumbered.
Sure.
Okay. Kashak wasn't expecting to infiltrate a chest, so he will. You want a stealth score to even get in the room?
You're gonna have to roll me a stealth score for every square.
All right, and remind me which square the chest is in.
It is in this back square, right?
Yeah, frickin' of course it is.
Which,
And we
do you want
didn't
this
get
to
any
be-
implication.
Do you want this to be easy? I'm sorry.
We didn't get any implication that the going on the wall was easier or. Okay. Stealth check for square.
Yeah, unfortunately, without hitting a knowledge check, it's hard to say.
Sorry, I'm so
Alright.
dumb.
You're such a
Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Sorry, I'm so stupid. All right, stealth check number 1.
I'm posting out next to the door with my crossbow, just like aimed in.
Sure.
I'm gonna hear up on my first check.
It will.
Yes, sir.
Roughly how long has the conversation and then the preparations for all this? How long has that taken?
I'd say about 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. Oski, after 10 minutes, Oski spends a focus spell and begins refocusing.
What do you spend it on?
Lay on hands on myself.
Okay.
At the same time, Pastor will also cast a spell on himself. Life boost.
So then I
Nothing for the lizard. Nothing for the lizard who's Mission Impossibling himself into a room that might have 2 losers in it. That's what I'm hearing. Nothing for the guy who's risking his life for an Aeon Stone and 2 scrolls.
How bad are you hurt?
For somebody else.
Really, really bad.
Why are you
That's-
doing this? So didn't say anything.
Bastro will cast, since I have 2 focus spells, or focus points, Bastro will cast an extra one on Kashak as well.
Thank you.
So you get 16 points if you want to wait the
He for
24
sure will.
seconds.
For sure will.
Okay.
He for sure.
Takes less than a minute. Yeah.
Theoretically, you guys can wait as long as you want.
Oski is 5 minutes into his second refocusing.
All right, it is a 27 stealth check into the first square.
Okay. Nothing
Into
seems
the
to
second
happen.
square. Into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
Sorry, you get 20. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please give me the health.
It's 24 points of health because I can't do that.
Okay.
It's okay, neither can I.
It is an 18 stealth check into the next square.
That's unfortunate.
Don't say
Oh
that.
dear. Oh, we're fighting some oozes.
So, from this like corner of the room, again, I'm picking on GM Lair because that is my signature move. From this corner of the room where this like bucket of boiling liquid is sitting, You take one step in. Nothing happens. You very carefully take another step. And just even the instant you put your foot down, you know you messed up. Because you feel the floorboard just give under your foot. Just that. The vat of liquid directly adjacent to you just begins almost frothing and erupting as it seems to grow exponentially in size. Go ahead and roll initiative, everybody.
It's a news fight.
Keshak will take a free action to shout, they're coming! And everyone will take a +2 circumstance bonus to their initiative rolls.
Really? Crossbow bolt as a reaction.
Oh, yeah. She did say that she was prepped with that.
I suppose. Give me 1 second here.
All right.
I wasn't expecting you all to actually go for the things that you didn't know anything about, but hey, here we are.
And we knew everything about it.
Fortune favors the bold. Let's hope Vajrani is worth the effort. Basper, what'd you get?
23.
23. Kashak, make sure you're rolling stealth for your
Good hit. It's
initiative.
actually better for me.
What'd you get?
30.
Is that Oski.
18.
Okay, and Twinkle Toes.
23 to hit on the crossbow and 29 initiative.
And everybody added their +2 from Scout Point.
Nope, 31 initiative.
That's actually very important. Okay. So, this room, virtually instantaneously, like,
Don't like this.
fast enough that Kashak, you genuinely cannot react quick enough. This liquid begins to boil and then just explodes. And what was a very dense metallic liquid is now spread out across the entirety of this room as you see two distinct forms that are sloshing up against each other in the mass of this liquid.
Oh my god, were they procreating?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Get out, retreat!
Sorry, Kashak. Goodbye.
Yeah, what?
So long.
How do I get out of here?
Hopefully alive.
How do I get out?
Twinkle Toes, your bolt does hit the closest creature to you. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Right. That's nice little 1d6 plus 1. 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Okay. Yeah, you just watch as this bolt sinks into its side, and almost as if you had not even shot it, but just dropped it into water, it hits the outside layer, almost immediately stops, and then just slowly sinks in. And you watch as just gas begins to curl off of the iron arrowhead, making bubbles inside of the creature that float to the outside and then pop, letting this acidic steam, this chemical awful steam out from the inside of this creature. Twinkle Toes, it is your turn. You are up.
I don't like that at all. I'm gonna pull out my water skin.
Okay.
With my first action. I have nothing on me that I can use as a weapon against this thing that is that isn't metal. So I'm gonna try doing something weird, and I'm gonna empty my water skin on it and see if it has any effect.
Wait, we know metal has no effect on it?
I just saw that the metal sizzled
things
up, and he
eat
said
metal.
he eats metal.
He did say that.
And so she stabs it with her sword, and then her 300 gold piece sword gets
Yeah,
used,
yeah.
where it kind of screwed.
Yeah. Oh.
It did make a mark, at the very least.
Yeah, I think it might
Okay.
just be like resistant. Hopefully, I don't know. We need to do knowledge check. I'll try to do it on my turn.
Let's see here. Trickledoes, you drop the water skin on it.
I'm supposed to be there. Yeah.
Nothing seems to happen.
I empty the water. I don't drop the water skin on it.
You pour
Pour the
water
water.
onto it. Nothing seems to happen.
You pour
Okay,
out the
was that
water
two
and then
actions?
throw the water skin in.
Was that 2 actions?
To grab it and move. Yes.
I didn't move. I was supposed to be there. I was posted outside the door. I just didn't want to be on
wouldn't
top of Kashak.
You wouldn't be able to shoot if she wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I have 1 action left.
Correct.
Draw water skin, pour water skin.
Yeah. I'm going to. Draw my star knife.
Sure.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. After Twinkles is Kashak. Kashak.
Okay. So, me taking the chest does not affect my movement speed at all.
Correct.
Correct.
It's going to take me an action to pick up the chest, if I still can at all. Does Kashak feel like he can take the chest with these things around him?
You can always try.
With how much these things think?
You are welcome
Can't
to
hear
try,
what
my
you're
friend.
saying.
We're having trouble hearing you, Jack.
Alright. First action, he wants to pick.
Roll me an athletics.
Let it. Okay. Even though it's completely within my bulk limit.
You are not moving at the full capacity of your strength right now because you are being
Okay.
actively inhibited by the creature around you.
No, that is perfectly fine. That was the question I was asking. Athletics check. 21.
You're able to pick it up. It's hard. It feels like more than 80
Mhm.
pounds. It's like, I'm sure if if Jack has done any resistance training in his lifetime, it feels like you were trying to do the worst resistance lifts of your life as you try to just move, not only pick something up, but also push against the ooze at the same time
Yeah. Pick up an 80-pound chest.
while
Okay.
being against another force pushing against
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna Twinkle Toes and try that. Lol.
And then he will just leap as best he can.
I'm gonna head out.
Let me see here. Go ahead and roll me an escape attempt.
Escape, not tumble through?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm just rolling 1,
Just one.
and it's an acrobatics check. Okay.
Escape is acrobatics or athletics, I thought.
Is that true?
Am I just pulling that
I
out of my
think
butt?
you're correct, actually.
Do.
'Cause that will help Kashak, I feel like.
Attempt a
Yeah,
check.
you can attempt an acrobatics or athletics check.
Yeah, this is typically the athletics DC. Oh wait, hold on.
No, you use an unarmed attack modifier against the DC of the effect. The DC is either their athletics.
The last sentence
Or the
is,
thievery.
can you use an acro or an athletics check?
Oh yes, you can use
Okay, got it.
acrobatics or athletics check instead.
That's where I read it.
but it still has
Yeah.
the attack trait.
Both my athletics and my unarmed check are higher than my acrobatics, but I will use athletics, and I don't have the multiple attack penalty, right? The first action didn't have
Yeah,
the attack
correct.
trait.
No, it's
This
picking
is-
up an object. No.
No, it's just an interact action. It does not have the attack
It is
trait.
a 22 on this score.
Ooh, that's a tweener.
You're
Oh my god,
pushing,
this is so big.
You're pushing. But you cannot break the tension of this creature. You are still inside.
He will try again, even though he will have the multiple attack penalty.
Sure.
Is he a step further?
He's
I
not.
don't move at all if I don't escape. Yeah. Alright, let's try again. Scroll better this time. Okay. That's significantly better.
Oh,
25.
okay.
With the multiple attack penalty?
Yes, it is a +9 from the -5 attack penalty on my athletics check, and I rolled a 16. So 20.
25 will do it.
Yes.
The lizard lives another day. So I can move what? Difficult terrain?
That's a really interesting question. Because it doesn't specify, but I can't imagine it wouldn't be
It
difficult
truthfully
terrain.
doesn't matter, it's just about how far away.
So
I can get out.
for escape, if you crit success, you can stride up to 5 feet.
I definitely didn't
But-
crit succeed.
I know, yeah. Normal
Yeah.
success is you're
Yeah,
just free.
it's just
Actually-
this is just a weird
A
spot.
sticky situation.
It's a weird situation.
Kashak, you're
because-
able to like pull yourself up onto the wall and out, so you're like 5 feet.
Well, if I'm using my land speed, difficult terrain versus not doesn't get out. I can still get out of the room. Right.
Well,
That's not all nowhere.
That's not the thing.
the
yeah.
interesting thing though is escape doesn't allow you to move. It just allows you to remove the condition. Which is weird because the only way here to remove the condition seems like you would have to move.
There's got to be something else about this that I'm not seeing on the character or on the character
Oh,
sheet
I
of this
see.
thing.
Yeah, because technically that was my third action, so I don't get to move.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But like, this isn't a grapple. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, well, yeah. What was what did the success
What
look
am
like?
I doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Because to me, the only way you would escape this would be like getting out of the ooze.
But wouldn't that just be a tumble through since I'm not grappled?
I mean, what Will said about like you climbing up onto the wall
Yeah.
to get out of it.
So it's a little different. This creature is using an ability called Engulf, which I'm doing slightly differently. I'll do it properly going forward here because there's a lot of subtext with what's going on. But we will this turn happen as it happened. Basically, you just get to the nearest not in it space, which for you is up. And since you have a climb speed, it's up.
Yeah, I'll take up. If I'm gonna stay out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little
Just 5 feet up the wall with the check.
yeah, and even
Okay.
even within the engulf description, it doesn't fully make sense for this exact scenario. So it's just that's what we're gonna go with. You are up.
But it'd definitely be 5 feet up because these creatures are.
It is the
probably 10 by
closest possible space that is not currently occupied by that.
Well, but if they're 10 by 10 or you're close to it, like if they're
Yeah,
if
I
they're
mean
large
you are
creatures,
10 feet
taller
off the
than
ground.
10 feet.
You are 10 feet off the ground,
10
and
feet up. Okay.
they're not like perfectly. If you look at the actual art on these things, they're also not perfectly spherical.
No, I didn't expect them to be 10
So-
by 10 cubes like Jaws cubes, but I
Um,
just want to know what distance do I have
You are-
from where I am to not being engulfed by it,
Your
Like,
back is against the ceiling as you are 10 feet up.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that is his turn. He spent all 3 of his actions.
And this like mass is just writhing like a few 8 inches away from your face, which is
That's so awful.
yeah, it's just this undulating mass of this goo. You see the pseudopods begin forming off as they begin to make these strange shapes. Some of them look like keys, some of them look like lockpicks, some of them look like drills, some of them look like swords as these pseudopods just begin all over the place.
Please don't make that noise again. Please don't make that noise again.
It is the closer creature's turn. Oski, is that where you are? IRL?
Yeah, that
Okay.
it is. He was posted up on a chair outside, like ostensibly protecting in case someone came down the stairs.
Twinkle Toes. What,
All
are
right.
you wearing anything that's... Oh, it's not your turn. I'm asking you a question. Are you wearing
Okay.
anything metallic, perchance?
Oh, that's why
just-
you asked me.
Just the little bits on my toes that twinkle. Just
Is any of it,
normal
like-
steel-toe boots?
Silver, gold...
No.
So it's all iron jewelry?
I don't
What-
wear
what's-
jewelry.
what
I
it-
just have little steel-toed boots
Steel-toed boots, okay.
that are
Um,
polished. So
okay.
they shine.
Bastro, are you
Wait.
wearing any, like, silver, gold,
So
platinum?
Bastro's not wearing any metal. Besides, technically, if you want to get specific, I imagine my belt pouches to have like metal buttons on them to close them and stuff. So if you want to count that. But I want to be honest.
And Kashak, you don't really have a lot of, like, metal on you, do you?
He's got bracers of missile deflection, which I think are pretty specifically metal.
Really?
Durable mithril.
I wish you hadn't said that.
You don't.
But he is wearing hide armor. He's got arrows in his quiver.
Mm-hmm.
The corpse ward pendant might also be metal.
Oh, that's a good point. The Reaper's Lancet handle is,
Gold, right?
Oh, that's fancy AF. Yeah.
let me see.
Mithril might supersede gold.
Yeah, if it's specifically mithril, that's,
Oh yeah. Bracers of missile deflection. These bracers are made from plates of durable mithril and gleam like the summer sun. That is no joke in the description for the item.
Sounds like
Kashak.
some gourmet food for this ooze.
You poor,
They have
poor
actually
lad.
written on it. Ooze, eat me first. It's actually a little weird that they have that written on.
Well, one says
Wow.
that, the other says rust monsters benefit only. Yeah, I think Mithril's gonna be nicer than, they're not
I would expect.
concerned with craftsmanship, right? Reaper's Lancet is surely the most well-crafted item made out of metal that any of you have. However, the
Mithril definitely-
mithril
You went mute again there, buddy.
is a delicious, juicy, medium well steak they are ready to just tear into. Kashak, I need you to go ahead and roll me a... Where is it? Do you immediately get it? Ah, gosh. Yes, I need you to go ahead and roll a reflex save.
24.
You're okay. It, like, sloshes a piece of itself out, like, at your arms. You see, it's not quite a pseudopod, but it's, like, shifting its mass in your direction. But you're able to get your arms out of the way from it attempting to literally engulf you once more. However, this does not deter it, for it will attempt to hit you with a pseudopod. Just, you see this blade just form the edge along the pseudopod as it's whipping around at your face. Baby. It's gonna be a 29 to hit.
Oof, that hits.
Okay. It's gonna be 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And 1 point of acid. That's the end of its turn. is now Bastro.
Bastro is feeling a little bad that his buddy is in this dire situation. So he's going to first action, pull out a scroll. Next 2 actions, he's going to cast Heal on Kashak. So you get 8 points of healing off the bat, and then another 8 points. That's a total of 16 points. That's an 8, wow. You get full
16?
points.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all the damage it dealt me. Sweet.
Hey, Will.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Thank you.
What happened?
What did you
I
do?
accidentally deleted my token.
I
Those
didn't-
vanishes.
I
When they
actually,
needed it most,
I
she
got
disappeared.
finished.
I genuinely didn't know that you had the ability to delete your own.
I
token.
didn't either. Oof.
I'm just impressed you managed to hit the one button that'll do that by accident.
No, I was getting rid of all of the arrows, and I accidentally clicked on mine and hit delete before
I
I
see.
realized it was on me
I see.
instead of on the arrows.
Terrible fate that you have suffered. After a
Yeah.
brief jaunt
I'm
through
back.
the astral plane, Twinkle
I
Toes
just blinked.
lands back.
Let's
Wait,
Bastard, you 2
can't
action
hear what you're
healed.
saying.
What's your 3rd action?
Jack, unless you're holding it, we can't hear you.
Emily Grace, thank you for reminding me. There are 2 GC metal arrows sitting right in front of Twinkle Toes, next to the ooze, just so everyone's aware.
Right on
You
Twinkle
will smack
Toes'
of-
twinkly toes.
Next to her feet are 2 metal arrows.
Anyways, Will, that was 3 actions. 1 to take out the scroll, 2 to cast it.
Understood. Oski, you hear quite the commotion coming from around the corner,
Yeah,
and
some
you
some
also
stuff.
hear Gribbs just like slam into the wall, and you turn around to see him like back against the wall, eyes wide with fear as he's looking out into the corner past something you can't see, and he's just like, his jaw is just agape and he's muttering.
Yeah, Oski snaps out of his concentration, hearing Kashak shout for help, and will take his first action to go 5, 10, 15, sort of poke his head around the corner and go, oh. He will free action just shout, Gribbs, how do we calm them down? How do we stop them? And then
I don't. He's just.
yeah, he's out of it. Second action, I'd like to recall knowledge. I think you said occultism.
Occultism, indeed.
All right, come on. Natural 20. Natural 20.
Hey.
Let's go.
28.
Okay. So. Somehow. Oski has knowledge of this creature. Perhaps.
Oski's done a fair amount of adventuring. I mean, it's probably like
Sure.
street knowledge, you know?
Sure.
Not book knowledge.
At some points in his life, Oski has encountered maybe rumor of this strange alchemical beast. It is what's known as a Vault Breaker ooze. They are
Breaker ooze.
inherently attracted to precious metals, and they have been somehow alchemically programmed to mimic like tools and complex tools and devices with their pseudopods.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
So
right.
you
we
see
the
like
sword.
these keys, the lockpicks, the swords. It makes them invaluable in like underworld rings for literally breaking into bank vaults for this reason, because they are innately attracted to precious metals and have been programmed somehow with this ability. You do know that they break down metal, but it's not at a speed at which you think you would be worried unless you're like in them for a very long period of time.
Okay.
Like you still see the arrowhead on the arrow or on the bolts that Twinkle Toes shot in. So like mechanically, you don't really have to worry about it. Like, you see bits of metal and things floating in it now. But it does eat metal. And it,
Okay.
again,
I-
prefers more...
I'm curious about two things.
Sure.
One, do we get the sense that like these are like either violent or vengeful creatures? Like if we just left, would it follow us? Or like if we left, would it just chill out and go back to its boiling? And then if I can't get that information, I would be curious about weaknesses and resistances.
You think the best way to deal with them would be to, well, A, for Kashak to get out of the room, but then
Sure.
B, use something to distract them to keep them in the room. So if you found
Okay.
a way to distract them with perhaps precious metals of some variety that would outweigh whatever is on your persons in terms of, like, value and amount, and left that in the room while you all got out. Eventually, whenever they finished that distraction, they would, unless you all were still in the immediate vicinity with precious metals, they'd probably just shrink back down.
Well, that might not be good for your bracers there, Kashak. So Oski shares all this information. Will sort of staring at these things shout to Gribbs, Gribbs, if you have any precious metals, get them out now. And will third action prepare the aid reaction. And if you'll let me, he would like to like ready himself, because for the aid reaction, you have to spend an action on your turn, like prepping in some way to then use the reaction. I'd like to prepare like either an athletics or something to like pull Kashak out if he tries to get out before my next turn. So I don't know if that's like readying my body or like positioning myself in a way to like pull him.
Right.
I don't really know what that would look like, but that's what I want to do.
Well, at the moment, he is not engulfed, so he theoretically can walk along the ceiling.
Right. He's not in goal.
But if you wanted, like, that might
That might
change.
change.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
That
in
might
case
change.
I engulf him,
So
I'd like to
you-
aid him still.
sure.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do the same skill that he's doing. But we can
Is that
cross
true?
that.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, you make the same skill
Yes.
check.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
I'm probably gonna make
theoretically,
an
he could
athletics
use
check
athletics.
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
or an unarmed
It's my
attack.
best skill.
One of the two.
Yeah.
So we'll cross that bridge and what that looks like when we get there. If we
Yeah.
get
Okay.
there.
Cool. That's my turn.
Speaking of, that might
Yes.
still happen.
Oh my god.
The other one will attempt to engulf Kashak. Kashak, make a reflex save for me.
Oh god. Oh god. $19.
No, that sounds bad.
Unfortunately, that's not enough. Kashak, this thing slides up the wall next to you and just body slams up onto the ceiling against you, and you are once more just engulfed in the entirety of. I'll even do this. I can't even get to it. Can't even get to it. Oh, I put it on the map? Why do I do these things to myself?
Center front.
Layer. Token layer. Maps and tokens.
Send that
And-
John to front, baby.
2 fronts. Sick. You are... Oh, God, now I gotta put you to the front.
Yo.
This is so complicated. 2 front. There we go. So the one that is on top, the farthest one into the room, is now the one that is currently up on the ceiling and has you engulfed. So here is how engulfed actually works, now that we have settled all of this, and I have read through the 4 different pages of the things that this one ability does that it doesn't say on the stat block. You are grabbed. You are slowed 1,
Oh, no.
and you now have to hold your breath.
Oh, that's fine.
Fine for Kashak.
I can hold my breath forever.
Yeah, not an issue for you, but grabbed and slowed 1 definitely doesn't help.
Nope.
So there are 2 ways you can break a being engulfed. 1 is an escape attempt. 2 is you can try to actually deal damage to the creature while inside of it. The way that works is the creature is flat-footed to you because you are inside of it. You've got to do piercing or slashing damage equal to a rupture value, which I have on a stat block here. And you must do that amount of damage in a single attack or spell. If you meet or break that rupture threshold, you essentially cut your way out from the inside of the creature.
Pretty dope.
And I'm still on the wall, right? I'm
You
not
are
taken off
on the wall with your back against the ceiling.
Right. Okay.
That's its first action. Or first 2 actions, I should say.
Will, with my knowledge check, did I know like resistances? Is that something I could have learned?
Sure, why not?
I did ask about it.
Yeah, but you also asked for like 4 different things, and I just went with the thing that you most recently
I
had
asked for
said.
2. I asked for 2 things.
It's also a remarkably rare creature.
Yeah. But you did roll a natural 20. It has immunities. Doesn't have any resistances. It doesn't have any weaknesses. Has immunities. I can tell
Oh,
you.
no resistance. Immunities. Okay.
Well,
Tell you
it's news, so we think you would know a lot of them already, just from being adventurers, no? Okay.
Again,
I don't know.
this thing is, and by all technical definitions, it's a news, but it's unlike any news you've seen before. Except for Oski. I'll tell you some of its immunities.
Oski.
If you want more of them, you'll have to roll again at a higher difficulty.
Sure. Okay.
It is immune to acid and critical hits.
Check
Immune
out.
to crit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So, that's the end of its turn. It has another action, but it's not going to use it because it really can't do anything with it. That's the end of that round. Top of round 2. Twinkle Toes. Your friend is
All right.
very nearly suffocating right before your eyes.
I don't think he's gonna suffocate, but like I do think he's gonna get those those bracers of deflection that I gave him, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna try to distract it with the 4 gold pieces that I have, and the hilt of the Reaper's Lancet, and just be like, ooh, look at all these pretty gold thingies that I have, come after me. And I'm gonna try to persuasion check. What?
You can certainly try.
So diplomacy.
Whatever you think,
Is that
whatever you are trying to do by persuading it.
Deception, they're fake gold.
Diplomacy?
no, it's real gold. I'm
Deception.
trying to
Diplomacy?
diplomacy. It's gonna be a 32 diplomacy,
Oh my god.
natural 18 plus 14.
You are speaking to it, you're waving around the gold and the hilt. The creature before you doesn't make any inclination that it recognizes that you're doing anything.
likes precious metal.
I don't know if it understands language, though. I think you have to just throw it and hope it accepts that it goes after them.
Okay, I throw the 4 gold into the far corner of the room over here.
Sure.
Not the Reaper's Lancet, just the 4 gold.
It's gonna be tough to make it all the way to the back corner of the room without just landing it into one of these creatures. So go ahead and roll a ranged attack roll.
Okay. Natural 17. My hand crossbow is a plus 12. So 29. That's my only.
Are you trained in throwing coins?
I am trained in simple martial and unarmed.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm expert in all of those. Sorry.
so you're able to like, you do this like underhand toss to try to like perfectly arc it over and like to the side of this creature so it kind of like bounces along the wall into the corner. 2 of the coins manage to skate all the way by and land in the far corner. 2 of them
It should have been a plus 14 actually, also, so it should have been a 31.
Sure. 2 of them still, though, get swept up by the pseudopod or just like graze it and stick to the back of the creature and begin to sink in. They both still look to be rather enamored by the tasty mithril treats above them.
Is that 2 actions?
To draw and throw, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna shout out and say, Kashak, I think you might need to ditch the I don't even know if you can hear me in there. I'm gonna swipe at it with my star knife.
Sure.
Just try to do some damage. Okay. Okay. That is, sorry. I don't actually have my star knife in my attacks. I need to.
I believe it's just a
Well, you're an expert with it, so you know
Yeah,
the
I'm an
roll.
expert.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's no item bonus, so it's just a plus 14. So 26.
26.
To hit.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit. It would have been a critical hit, but as you now know, they are immune.
Yes.
Oh. As the blade like begins to touch it, as you're swiping it across, it almost like a oobleck or like non-Newtonian fluids. The surface around it goes from like slightly translucent to like brilliant platinum white, and begins to like harden.
What is happening?
Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
What the heck?
I don't know how much damage my star knife does.
1d4 piercing.
Thank you.
It is also versatile slashing if you want to slash.
I'm gonna do slashing since I slashed it. That's a 4 plus 1. 5
Yeah.
points of slashing.
Okay, so unfortunately, as it like hardens at the blow of your knife, you just feel the blade skip off the side of this beast.
I think it has like resistance to metal weapons.
Maybe.
Seemed
Well,
like
that's
it
my third action.
seemed like it reacted to the strike.
Ah. Cool.
That's what this
That's the end of my turn.
Good thing there are only 2
End
of
my
them.
turn.
Yeah, right.
Kashak, my buddy, my boy, my guy.
Let me just go ahead and start off my turn by saying I am not scared even a little bit.
Okay.
Happy
I'm just
for
gonna
you.
go ahead and start my turn that way. So I will make an athletics check to break free of the engulf.
Sure. Oski,
Trigger
go ahead and
for
roll
reaction.
an athletics check.
Do we want to do his aid
DC
first?
20.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's.
DC
I was
20.
speaking of Oski's athletics check.
Oh, sorry.
I did not specify. That's
Hero point.
getting desperate.
Oh, my son. My actual.
Not even
score.
kidding. It's another natural 20.
Sure.
Okay.
Take a +2, Kashak, to your athletics check, as Oski is like watching with hawk-like precision to see your body move, and he is timing like a jump to reach out and grab your arm, and you see him like gesture towards you, so you try to punch your arm out to grab him. Go ahead and roll it.
26.
Yes, that sounds good. That sounds good.
So with the natural 20 from Oski, he grabs onto your arm. You like clasp mid-air, one arm holding Oski, one arm holding the chest, and the weight of Oski's full orc, fully armored body just rips you from outside of this creature, and you like come stumbling across. You actually land across the table behind him
Yeah.
as the momentum
Yeah.
and the force just rips you out and throws you down. Go ahead and take 10 points of damage as the like chest lands on top of you and you hit the table with all this like metal implements and stuff on your back, but you're out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fair trade.
Oski, I think, is gonna also shout,
Kashak, you may need to ditch the mithril, and then we need to get out of here.
Just
Ooh,
So-
we lost you.
into the room. Any gold you have?
we didn't, EG, repeat, we didn't hear what you said, sorry.
Oh shoot.
Lots of
Sorry,
mic issues
I
today.
said-
Sorry about that, people.
That's
Yeah, well-
odd. Somebody throw what gold you have in there and try to distract it with them. Oski or Kashad, get out of here.
So I think Kashak.
What's the value of your bracers?
I think they're like 60 gold.
They all work. 52 gold.
So close.
Yeah, 52 gold.
Kashak is just going to take the chest and leave out the door. I mean, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Sheeper will do the same. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The lizards are out. We're just leaving. See ya. We're gone. We recommend you do the same.
Gold already on the ground, or in one of the oozes? I don't remember where it landed.
There's
yeah,
gold
so,
in the room, and there's 2 iron arrows in the ground in front of the between.
yeah, hopefully that's enough, and then, yeah, we just leave.
Just get out.
Yeah.
We'll throw Gribs in for goodness.
Throw grips in there.
I was slow.
After everything that man did to help you, you just sacrifice him to the wolves.
He made these things.
Under duress?
That's it.
As far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know. Good call, Dan.
He looked duressed.
He knew the risk when he pulled up the
Oh, Kashak. Poor
Not getting any
underwater
of that.
lad.
Yeah, not getting any of that.
He knew the risk when he sent us in there, so we need to.
He didn't send you in there.
We sent ourselves.
He specifically
We
told
very
you
much
not to
sent
go in
ourselves.
there.
He didn't say don't go in there. He said if you want these things, go in there.
He said, don't go in there, and then he
Whose turn
said,
is it?
I would have more, but it's in that room. It is the ooze's turn.
He said, cool, so we're going to get that.
Then I put a gun to his head and said, "Show me where."
I'd like Oski, Twinkle Toes, and Bastro to all roll me reflex saves.
I hate it.
Alright.
I hate it.
They can squeeze? They're not too big and fat?
They're oozes. They went from
Okay.
less than 5 feet to far larger than 5 feet.
I
Reflex
may be
save,
dead.
Reflex saves.
28.
27.
27?
12.
Okay. So here's what happens. Bastard, you definitely make it there. Oski, you definitely get caught.
No kidding.
Uh,
If I die instead of missile deflection bracers, I'm gonna be pissed.
just know that you are worth less than
52
55
gold.
52
Less than
gold
52 gold.
to Twinkletoes, you succeeded. But I feel really bad putting you directly in between these two things. I'm trying to figure out a way. Something
I
we can
have
do.
like hopped. I still have my reaction left. Can I, with my reaction, have hopped up onto this table or something?
That would still be in the area.
It's incredibly nimble.
It's going to here. This is where it ends up.
Hop back over the table to here.
I mean, the whole point of the reflex save is to either be in the creature's face or not, right? But kind of has to be in the space or not.
Right, but also by the rules, she'd end up here. And I'm trying to see if there's something we can do to make that not happen, because that's just
I
awful.
spend my reaction to have done that.
You still have another hero point, right?
Yes, I do.
I'll let you go here for the hero point.
Oh my god.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I would take that.
And that's a free trade, yeah.
So,
Fair.
with your very, very good reflex save, plus the expenditure of some heroic might conjured from within, you are able to remove yourself. However, Oski, you must now hold your breath. You are grappled and you are slowed 1.
Not good.
Bastro, it is your turn.
What can Bastro even do in this situation?
Distract it with gold.
Is this door open or closed?
Right now it's closed.
Okay.
Spend an action to open it.
I'm not going to do that. Instead,
Fair enough.
I'm going to. I'm going to stride up to here. 5, 10. Is this door open right here?
Nope, that door's closed. The only door that is open in this room is this bottom left door right
Okay,
here.
got you. Let's stride up to here. Can I spend an action to try to pull Oski out?
You could do what he did and
And
Yeah,
okay.
the best you're gonna get there is, is attempting to aid.
Shoot, my athletics sucks too.
But I mean, you could still hit it, right? Like you could still hit DC 20.
That is true. On a 19 or 18. Shoot. Running out of options here.
On a 19 or an 18, you could hit a 20. Oh.
Yeah, I only have a +2 to athletics.
I
It's
mean, you're
not
out of
good.
you're out of the room. So at best case, you get Oski out. At worst case, you're still there to be ready to close the door on these oozes, and they go off.
That's a good point. So, second action, I'm going to cast Shield on myself. And then third action, I am going to ready a reaction to close the door. And free action, I'm going to yell out, "Everyone get out of the room! I'll close the door." Hopefully they won't be able to move through the door, even though they're vault breaking oozes. Doors wouldn't, so I'm sure they can't affect it. Bastro has limited knowledge on this ooze.
Is that everything?
But yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. You get to the door, you're ready to close it, potentially on your very own friend Oski.
He's not gonna close it until everyone's out, but yeah.
Hey, I'm not speaking for him. I'm just saying Oski might end up in the room with the door closed. I don't know. Gribbs, seeing you now, like, yelling for everyone to get out, just like, yeah, he's down for that. And he just, like, throws himself down into the corner, like, diving through the chairs, and is now just huddled in the corner back there. Oski, my friend. It's your turn. What would you like to do?
All right.
You
I've got
can
2
make an
actions
unarmed
because I'm
attack.
slowed 1. I'm going to do an unarmed attack to escape, not to hit the thing. We haven't done any damage, and I think Oski, if you rolled a crit 20 on an ooze, would know they've got high health.
Well, there's a bit of a difference when you're engulfed because you just have
Yeah.
to do a
Oh, right,
certain
the
amount of
rupture thing,
damage
the
to
rupture.
rupture out of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's just about whether your athletics, acrobatics, or unarmed attack modifier is highest.
Because you know that they are very
Unarmed
easy to
attack is
hit.
the highest of that.
You know that
Yeah.
oozes are very easy to hit, and it's considered flat-footed to you right now. So hitting isn't the problem. It's whether you think you can hit the damage threshold, or whether you can hit the skill threshold to escape. That's your choice.
Exactly.
I think the damage would be harder than trying to go up against its DC.
Okay.
I think. Because what it's athletics DC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a DC.
I think it's the athletics DC.
I mean, you watched a shock break out of twice. So you've seen it happen. You know.
Oh, he may or may not have caused it to happen the second time.
Exactly.
He's going to try to, with his orc hands, unarmed attack, but as the escape action.
Sure.
And we're changing dice. Use a different one. Come on. All right, let's go.
I believe.
23.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, and that's even with being enfeebled too.
Got all of your modifiers, everything?
It's flat-footed.
Flat-footed wouldn't affect the DC though.
Why are you enfeebled?
I'm enfeebled from that combat. I don't. Will didn't tell me it stopped. I'm still enfeebled too.
And it definitely did. Okay.
DC 23 to escape.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Baster, you watch as just 8 fingers just pierce through and rip this membranous metallic fluid open, and Oski just like Terminator steps through, dripping this acidic ooze off of him.
And with my second and final action for the round, I move 20 feet partially up the stairs.
20 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, to the first 5 steps, the first 5 feet of the stairs, right? Okay. It's the top of the next round. Only round 3. Can
It's
you
the
believe
top?
that? It's the top of the round.
Thank God.
Toot.
Twinkle Toes, what would you like to do?
I would like to run out of the room and slam the door behind, or say, Bastard, close the door! As I run out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
And Bastra will slam the door as soon as she leaves.
Okay. Bastro slams the door.
Oh, I don't like not seeing what's happening. I don't like that.
Fine with it. Out of sight, out of mind.
And that's where we're gonna end it for tonight. I gave you the freebie on the hero point. I just didn't want to put you in that spot. That would have been.
Thank
I would have
you.
felt so bad.
Thank you.
I would have felt so bad. You would.
I would have found some way to hero point, like run across the wall out the door or something. like I would
I mean,
have.
that's I mean, to go between those two oozes would have been a critical failure on the reflex save in my mind. You know what I mean? Like equivalent to like the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Because it the way that the engulf works, it moves into a space. Everything that is in that space makes a reflex save. If it succeeds, they go to the closest spot that is not in that space.
Yeah, rules as written. She goes straight to the left. And
Yeah.
then-
So it was hard, and I'd done enough. I felt like I'd done enough today. Thank you everybody
Appreciate
so
your
much.
mercy always.
So much for joining us.
Thanks,
We'll
everyone.
be back next week with a little more hideout horror as we continue this traipse through the Copper Hands facility. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy New Year, everybody, and have a good week.
Adios, everyone.
Bye.